Hello, creative friends. It's Sue. I'm back with another video. Welcome back to anybody who's a returning viewer, and welcome to those that are new. I do a whole bunch of exciting different things on this channel, or at least that's what I hope to be doing, and we like to experiment and learn together, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video a little bit. I do want to put a disclaimer out there that I hope to zhuzh these videos up a little bit, starting with the beginning of the year here. I know we're almost into February. By the time this goes up, it probably will be February, but I do want to start experimenting with a few different things that we haven't tried before. I have recently acquired some soldering equipment that I want to try on here, as well as doing a little bit more jewelry related things. Also keeping the focus on my resin stuff because I love to do the resin work. I love to see the outcomes of everything, and you guys really seem to enjoy it as well. I just don't want to get stagnant and get it bored, get it boring for you guys. So we're going to look to make that as fun and creative as possible and learn along the way. So with that said, I want to get into the tumbler that I'm going to be showing you here in a second. The tumbler started off as a really great thing. It was a stainless steel tumbler. I washed it, I sanded it, washed it again, spray painted it matte black, proceeded to put it on my turner, worked great, put the resin on, worked wonderful, put the glitter on that I wanted to use. Once that was all finished and it was cured, I sanded it down a little bit, got it ready for the next step. I took this mold here, which is the phases of the moon, of course, and my intention, because I was using Let's Resin, my intention was to leave it sitting, not these particular moons that I have in here now, it was a different set, but my intention was to take these out while they were still flexible, bend them, and mold them around the outside of my cup. I'd seen many other channels do it. It works lovely as long as you do it in the right way, which I did not. My pieces got way too hard. They were still flexible, but they were not flexible enough. I tried to just make them work and put glue on the back side of them, put them on my cup. They were popping off. It was a mess. They were sliding all over. A nightmare. I ended up taking everything off, had a mess of glue on my tumbler, which already looked beautiful. I had to sand it all down and start all over again. I should have taken my heat gun to the resin moon pieces that I had and made them a little bit more flexible because they were still in the early stages of curing. They had just gone way too far. Like they weren't rigid like this. So anyway, long story short, I want to show you where I'm at now with this tumbler and give you a peek into what it's going to look like. And I got a Cricut machine. I know I've never talked about it before on this channel. I didn't own a Cricut machine. I have admired them and lusted over them for a long time, and finally bit the bullet the other day and bought myself one. And I love it. I've tested it, I've used it, and I don't know how I got along without it. So off to the tumbler. Oh, my resin is still not cured all the way. And this is the tumbler. And I'm hoping that the light is picking up the hollow of that glitter that's on there. So to give you a long and short of it, like I said, that's spray painted matte black, and it has the color change glitter on it. I pulled my lights away, so I hope that's picking up for you guys. I'm redoing this video because the last one I was way too close and you really couldn't see it. I think this is picking up okay for you. But in any case, that's what it looks like. All these cute little stars that are holographic, this moon and sun that's holographic as well. They all came from my Cricut machine as I was experimenting with it. Now I'm in the process of making sure that my vinyl doesn't go anywhere. I am a faithful follower and watcher of Lucinda Swirl. She's on YouTube. She does tumblers for the most part, but she does a lot of resin work as well outside of her tumblers. But when she does vinyl like this, she often puts a layer of UV resin over the top of it to keep the vinyl from inadvertently moving up while you're putting the resin over the top of it while you've got it on the turner. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I started a little bit here. I tried to fix it a little bit with my UV light, but I didn't put it on there long enough, so it's still a little tacky, so I need to put it underneath my actual UV lamp. So I'm going to go ahead and fix all these pieces of vinyl down, cure them under my UV light, and then we're going to put it on the turner and put, hopefully, its final coat of resin on and see how we do. So I will be right back once I have added all of the UV resin and cured it under my UV light. So we'll be right back. So I'm all done with the UV resin, and the UV resin. Before we get into the actual resin, I wanted to show you guys the glitter that I used. So we all know that glitter can change on the black backgrounds. We've all heard about it. We've seen it on various crafting videos. So I bought this glitter. I just bought it at Michael's. It's Michael's brand glitter. It's called Party Blend Snow Swirl, and that's exactly what it looks like in the container. It's really pretty color shift of pastels and pinks and blues and greens and all of that wonderful stuff. I put it on this black background and that's what it looked like. And I was so excitingly pleased by it. So if you want to do something similar, that's the glitter that I used. Anyway, let's get into it. So I've already mixed up my resin. It's just been sitting here kind of degassing. My cup is on my turner. And we are pretty much ready to go. So let's see how we do. I'm going to turn this at a little bit of an angle. It'll be easier for me to get everything on. Turn it the other way. Let's get into it. All you guys that do resin tumblers make this part look so easy when I know it's not. So I give you props. Oh, there's the first dribbles on my table. Why am I not surprised? You know, I probably put way too much on. It's okay. We'll get there. Okay guys, I'm finished putting that resin all over the cup. We're just going to let it turn now and we're going to see how it does. This is a very cheap cup turner, so it's not the best level that it could be. If I was making these professionally, if I ever want to do that in the future, then of course I would try to get something that's much more level. But so far it hasn't really done me dirty, so we'll just stick it out and see how it goes. I am going to do a really quick mist with some alcohol to get rid of any bubbles. And we'll just let it turn and see how it goes. All right, so I will be back when this is done and we'll share our final thoughts and I'll let you know how everything went. So stay tuned, it'll be just a second for you guys. Hello friends, so we are back and I have been away from this tumbler for a few days, so it's been sitting here for a bit, waiting for some more attention. And I will share with you how this turned out so far. So, big lesson here, and it's not a big lesson for many folks that do this kind of work, but without getting into it and wasting too much time, I'm going to see if I can show you what I'm talking about. So you might be able to see it right here. So we have a lot of divots. Let me see if I can, yeah, I can zoom in just a little bit. There. See these bare spots? This is all areas where the resin just pooled around what was already existing there. And I know that there can be several reasons, but you can see this uneven surface all around here. Probably a couple of things. I'm thinking first, it's likely that, oops, sorry, I hit the camera. First, it's probably likely, hang on, sorry guys, I'm trying to clean the lens of my camera. So anyway, what most likely happened is I didn't have enough resin on here. That's what my first gut reaction is telling me, is that the resin just pooled up in the places because it didn't have enough. Because in some parts there is adequate coverage. It could also be that as it was turning this way, it was raising up a little bit and the resin was going down here because down here it feels all right. There's also possibilities that because there were some raised edges here and everything wasn't perfectly smooth with the glitter that was on here or whatnot, that it just didn't do a good job adhering. So with that being said, I'm going to mix up some more resin. I'm going to put another coat on here and see what I think. Because at the end of the day, this is a learning tumbler for me. I've got a lot of stuff going on here that I've never done before. Never spray painted a tumbler black. Never put the glitter on like I did. Never did the Cricut vinyl cutout. So there's been a lot of learning curves going on here. So don't be too surprised or too hard on me. Just, it is what it is. We're learning. So I'm going to go ahead and go away and do another coat of resin on here. And as soon as that is done curing, we'll come back and see what the final results are and we'll get my final thoughts on it. So stay tuned.